Unit 8 review, problem 22, subtract the polynomials. So if you remember when we're subtracting polynomials, this minus sign is going to force me to take the opposite of whatever's after here. So 7x squared is going to become negative 7x squared, minus 4 is going to become plus 4. And then I generally like to cross those out so they're not in my way. So now from here we're going to combine like terms. If I have a 2x squared and a negative 7x squared put together, that's going to be negative 5x squared. Notice it does not become x to the fourth, don't forget that. And then there's nothing to go with the minus 3x, so we're just going to bring that down. And then if I have a plus 8 and a plus 4, that gives me plus 12. So that would be the answer to that problem. All right. Number 23 says, give an example of a cubic binomial. State the leading coefficient of your polynomial. All right, if it's cubic, the highest power is going to be 3, so the degree is going to be 3. And if it's a binomial, there will be two terms. There'll be two parts. So an example might be 5x cubed plus 6x. I could put 2x cubed plus 7, anything like that, as long as my highest power is a 3, and there are two parts. Okay, and then it says to state the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient is the number that leads the problem. So in this example, 5 leads the problem. If I did this one, 2 leads the problem. Please make sure your example is not identical to mine. All right, problem number 24, it says to multiply the polynomials. I will work this two different ways, just depending on the way that you do it. The first way that I'm going to do it is the box method. So I am going to do x minus 2, and then 2x squared, positive 3x, and then a minus 4, and then I'll create my box. Ready? And then if I multiply 2x squared times x will be 2x cubed. 3x times x will be 3x squared. Remember, I'm adding my exponents. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Then down below, 2x squared times negative 2 will be negative 4x squared. 3x times negative 2 will be negative 6x. And negative 2 times negative 4 will be positive 8. So from here, I'm just combining like terms, and I do notice the diagonals are like terms. I'm going to get 2x cubed. Negative 4x squared and a positive 3x squared will be minus 1x squared. Negative 6x and negative 4x will be negative 10x, and then plus 8. All right, if you do this the arrow way, just want to make sure that we have it set up either way. Okay, so I take this x times all three parts, and then when I'm done, I'll take the negative 2 times all three parts. So if I take the x times all three parts, I'll get 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x, and then if I take the minus 2 times everything, I'll get negative 4x squared minus 6x plus 8. And then if I combine like terms, again, I'll get 2x cubed. I put these two together and get minus 1x squared. I'm going to put these two together and get minus 10x, and then plus 8. So either one gives you the same answer. The key word for the key letter for this video is E. All right, this one says to factor completely, and factoring completely means we're going to get a GCF first, and then we'll have something else to factor. So this is a factorception problem where once we do a problem, we have another problem inside of it. All right, so first of all, I'm going to look at what goes into 2 and 10 and 48. That would be 2. And then I do all notice that they have an x. So we're going to factor out a 2x. So 2x, 2x, 2x. All right, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. If I subtract the exponents, I'll get x to the second. And then plus 10 divided by 2 is 5. X squared divided by x is just going to be x. And then minus 48 divided by 2 is 24. And then my x's cancel out. All right, so now what happened here, that opened up a new factoring problem. So this one I get to put 2 parentheses for, if you recall. And then we're going to take 1 times negative 24. That gives me negative 24. And then let's see, negative 12 times 2, negative 2 times 12, negative 8 times 3, negative 3 times 8. And I notice if I'm looking for a positive 5, negative 3 plus 8 will give me positive 5. So plus, let's do minus 3 plus 8, but I can't forget to bring down that 2x. So this would be my problem factored completely.